Hello Flosstube! This is my first Stitch With Me video. Today I'm gonna explain you a little bit about how I stitch and try, if I got time, to do the accent tag. I will do it a little bit else than normally what you would have done since I'm from Norway. So this is my QS Huggable from Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm gonna show you a little part of the pattern, not much, just to explain how I part. Let me see. Like this. If you see the stars here, they go all over this way. So when I do page parking, I would start stitching here and I will stitch all the way to the end here. I do half stitches one way and then complete the cross on the way back. I use a rule called 3 over. That will say that if I am gonna stitch this next one, I have to have this stitched first before I can do the next. So this stitch, you need these 3 stitched. But I don't always do that. I used it more as a guideline. So actually on this pattern, since there is so much of this color, I would just continue down. But I will not stitch this star before I have stitched this sideways V. Because I don't want there to be I want the stitches to be complete down where I actually stitch. So then it's just start stitching. So you can see I park the first one I have here. So the way I thread my needle, I don't lick and I don't use a needle threader. I take the thread, lay it over the needle, make a little loop. Then I pull it down with my fingers while I just gently pull the needle a little bit up, not much. And you can see I squeeze the thread with the fingers on the thread. And I use not the wide part, but the small part of the needle. And just pull it out so you get a little, what can we call it, a dot. And then I lay my needle over my needle eye and I just push it over the thread. Sometimes I just wiggle it a little bit. Take the thread with my fingers and it's done. That's how I thread my needle. Can show you once more. I make just a little loop on the thread. It don't matter where. Then I pull the thread down with my thumb and long finger while I gently push a little bit up on the needle and pull the needle out. So I basically have a little loop between my fingers. Then I just take the needle eye over the thread, wiggle it. You can see now the thread has started to come out on the other side of the needle. You can see that both threads are out, and then I can just pull it through. When I have gotten it in my needle, I just straighten it up, put the needle where I want it on the thread with just a little bit thread on the other side, and then I can start stitch. And when I'm doing on my Q-snap, I have made it so I'm actually starting to use it two-handed. I have my dominant hand on the back. You can see how I sit. I have a little gap between my feet, and the Q-snap is just laying over my feet and against my belly. Then I have the dominant hand under and the other on top. This might be bad for you doing it this way, so I can try and stitch one-handed instead, so you see what I do. I do stitch one-handed the most of the time. It's only this piece I have gotten used to stitching two-handed, and it's because all of the blue here I did in this weekend that was. I did by the number Sal for full coverage attics, and in 4 days I have managed to stitch 1400 stitches. So I'm done with the challenge. So now I did those 3 stitches, and you can see if I do this one, it's on the edge, so it doesn't matter if I have, you can say I have a stitch on this side done over it, and I have a stitch on this side over it. So then I just go and do this stitch also. And now I've done the stitch. Then I look at the next part where I can park it. It's down here under the star. I know that that's the color I have parked. It's 823, and it's because I've done it so much. Normally I will have marked on my pattern where I have parked, but I use my iPad, what I'm filming on, to actually see the pattern. So now what I do is when I park on this piece, I have just started to do half of a cross stitch and go up and then park. I just found it easier with the threads not being that much in the way when I have it parked, because I usually work from this side to this side. So when I then lay my threads this way, especially if you see here, then this next color I'm gonna stitch over will not come, this thread will not come in the way because it's laying on the right side instead of the left side. And I just use my needle minders to hold my threads. So I have the color 823 here. I use the loop method, so I put the 2 ends together, and then at the other side I get a little loop on the thread. And the same way, if I have 2 strands, 3 strands, this is the way I thread my needle. Take the thread over, pull it, just push the needle over the thread and pull. Now I have the loop. On this piece I start the loop method on the front. So I will do the first half of the stitch as I usually would have done, just with the starting from the front. Then I take the needle through the loop and pull. And the last space where I went up, I will now go down, because then I will make another loop over the loop I have. So I will pull the loop down under the fabric. Like this. Now I'm gonna stitch this color until I reach the part thread. So that's nice to know, that I don't need to count anything special. I know how far I am going to go. Laura X Stitches, she wanted me to do the accent tag. The way I am thinking of doing it, I say the words as I would say them in English, the first part, and then I just say the Norwegian word for you. So since I'm on a part where I don't need to think too much about my stitching, I will go over to do the accent tag. So, aunt, tante, roof, tak, route, rute, wash, vask, oil, olje, theater, teater, iron, jern, salmon, laks, caramel, caramel. You hear that one? I say the way I'm almost saying it in Norwegian. Caramel, 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 caramel. Fire, brann. Water, vann. Shore, sikkert. Data, data. Ruin, ruin. That word is actually, the data and the ruin are both written the exact same way in Norwegian. We just pronounce it different. Next word, crayon, fargestift. Fargestift is actually, if you translate it the other way, it would be a coloring pencil instead, but you say crayon. New Orleans, it will just be New Orleans in Norwegian. Pecan, pecan, that's another one, written exactly the same, just said different. Both, både. Again, en gang til. Probably, sannsynligvis. Spitting image, prikk lik. Actually, the way you would translate spitting image, or in Norwegian, prikk lik would be translated just as the same dot, actually. So yeah, a weird saying in Norwegian, but we know what it means. Alabama is just Alabama. Lawyer, advokat. Coupon, kupong. Mayonnaise, majones. Syrup, sirup. Pajamas, push. Pajamas, yeah, I would say push. It's just a shortening for pyjamas in Norwegian, but I say push. I That's the way I say it in my dialect here in Norway. Caught, fanget. Naturally, naturlig. Aluminium, aluminium. This is also a word written exactly the same. So aluminium, aluminium. Envelope, brev. So we have some words that is exactly the same written, but we say it differently. Especially the vocals. For us, the way you say A almost sounds like an E to us, and the way you say E almost sounds like an I to us, and I almost sounds like the A. So it's like those three vocals, A, I, and I. A, I, A, and E is just turned around. If you would set them up in a circular shape. So the questions, I will say the Norwegian word, and I will then translate what the meaning would be from Norwegian to English. Not the meaning, but actually the way it is said. Because sometimes we have two words or more put together that in English would be something totally different. So first question, what is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? We don't really have a word for it in Norway, not where I live, but I did a little bit research and found out that on some places they just call it toalettpapir et hus, which means toilet paper a house. What is the bug that when you touch it curls into a ball? The correct term in English is wood louse. In Norway we call it skrukketroll, which actually means a wrinkling troll. It's put together by the word skrukke, that means wrinkling, and troll, which means troll. What is the bubbly carbonated drink called? We call it brus, and in English we would just say soda. What do you call gym shoes? In Norway we call them joggesko, which means jogging shoes. What do you say to address a group of people? When I worked, I would say to my class, hei alle sammen, which translated means, hey everybody. What do you call the kind of spider that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? I actually did not remember what I did call it when I was little, because I had another word for it. But the Norwegian way of saying the name of the long-legged spider is vevkjerring, which is put together by the two words vev and kjerring. Vev actually means weaving or a weave, and kjerring means chrome. So translated, it would be a weaving chrome, which is actually funny because the spider doesn't it doesn't make a spider net like other spiders do. So it's not weaving, but that's what we call it. Question 7. What do you call your grandparents? That is actually a very special way we say it in Norway. We have different, but the most normal where I come from, we say to my mom's parents, mormor and morfar, which is put together by the word mor and mor, which mor means mom or mother. So we are actually saying mom's mom, but we take away the S, so it just becomes mom. And the same with grandpa at my mother's side. We would use the word mom, and then the Norwegian word for dad, which is far. So it becomes mom, dad. And for the grandparents on my father's side, then you would say dad, or in Norwegian, farfar. And you would say farmor, which means father's mother, or dad's mom. So that's how we say that. It actually gives a lot of meaning when you know what the words is. We basically just say exactly what it is. It is our father's mom or mother's mom and so on. There is people that have other nicknames for them, but I have never used them. I know some people say bestefar and bestemor, and translated it means best dad or best mom. And for me, having both set of grandparents that I loved, I would never tell one of them that they were the best, because I like them just the same, equally. Next question. What do you call the wheel contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? In Norwegian, we call it handlevogn, which is based on two words, handle and vogn. And the word handle means shopping, and vogn means wagon. So translated, I would say shopping wagon. Next question. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? I have never used a word for that in Norwegian, but I know that I think it was my grandmother on my father's side. She would say solregn, which translated, sol is the same word as sun, and rain is the same as rain. So sun rain, she would call it. What is the thing you change the TV channels with? In Norwegian, we say fjernkontroll, which is put together by two words. The first word, fjern, means remote, and control means control, so remote control, translated. And that was the tag. So I'm sorry if that went a little bit fast for you. I usually speak very fast when I'm tired, actually, and I am, because me and my husband watched Super Bowl last night, or in the middle of the night. So here in Norway, the game did not start before it was 12 a.m. and did last until 4:30 a.m. or something like that. So I went to bed about 5 a.m. and slept until 11:30 a.m. Then I did just wake up by myself, couldn't sleep any longer, and today I am super tired. It's not so good with my health issues, but Super Bowl, and me and my husband, I actually never did watch Super Bowl before I got together with him. So one of the first things we did living together, we watched the Super Bowl. And we were going to school next day, or the university. We had a class, and we was thinking, we just stay awake the whole night. So we did lay awake and talk after the Super Bowl for about, I think it was almost 3 hours. And then we both just fell asleep while talking. And we did not manage to get to school that day, or the university. But it was fun. I really enjoy American football. And when I got introduced to American football, my husband was really nice with explaining everything, how it was. But he did have a few mistakes in his way of thinking that it works. So when I was like, yeah, but no, like he thought that you only had 3 tries to get the ball over a yard. But in reality, it's actually 4. So I remember that was one of those. So yeah, I watched Super Bowl and now I am super tired. So my plan for today is get the stitches in for the 100-day challenge, which I have now gotten stitches in. I will probably do more than just this. And later today I was supposed to go on a knit and drink cafe, it would be translated. I normally don't do knitting anymore, but that's just what I call it. You can take whatever you want, so I usually take some cross stitching while everyone else is knitting, but it's nice, it's social. I'm not originally from the town I live in now, so it's nice to get out and start to get acquainted with other people. So I think I will call this stop it for today. As I said, I hope I did not speak too fast for you on the tag. If I did, you can go and regulate the speed on the YouTube video, so you can make me go slower. Or if you think I was too slow, you can make me go faster. I will probably try and explain more of the way I park and such later. Maybe do a real tutorial. I hope. I don't know when I will have the time. And if there's anything you're wondering about how I thread my needle or anything like that, I will try and do it with the next Stitch With Me. I'm planning on doing my update 1 week, and then a Stitch With Me, and then an update and a Stitch With Me for now, just because I need to get a routine on my floss tubing before I do it anything more than that. I need to find out which days are the best. So yeah, thank you for coming. If you are a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking and commenting on my videos. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm planning on maybe doing more tags on my Stitch With Me. So let me know if you want that, or if you want just me stitching and talking without doing a tag. So yeah, that's what it's, folks. If you can see yourself where I have tied up my iPad, I think you would laugh hard. It doesn't look good, but I did manage to MacGyver it. Let me know if you think it's close enough or not, because I may be able to get it a little bit closer. I just have to change the way I sit and stitch. I sit and stitch in my couch. So, yeah. That was it, folks. Talk to you later. Thank you for coming by.